Hello and welcome to Sasha and Goff Live Recorded.
I'm Sasha.
And I'm Goff, and this week we are talking about our top 3 phone apps and our top 3 bullies.
They go hand in hand.
Yes, they go hand in hand. Phone apps brought to you by Elf from Melmac, and then bullies, of course, brought by the biggest bully in the world, your wife, Megan.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So how'd these lists go for you?
Not bad. Weird having them at the same time.
Yeah.
But,
so, real quick, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, we are doing these 2 because we usually do a top and a bottom, but with top 3 bullies, we kind of assumed it might be a little harder to pick the bullies we didn't like, I guess, because they're all jerks, but it's like, well, this one sucks, but he also isn't entertaining enough to...
Yeah, or like, does he suck at bullying, or do we just not like him?
Yeah, like... Yeah, and then we pulled phone apps before that and didn't really want to do it, but we're like, you know what, we don't have a bottom 3, so we'll do top 3 phone apps and top 3 bullies.
And now you have to sit through it if you choose to.
Yeah. I gotta ask you a question, all right, because I saw this happen earlier in the week, and I was always wondering, like, what do you do in situations? So, like, animal fights. Do you ever, and then this is an honest question, because, like, I love animals, and I know it's nature, but I hate, like, so I saw 2 geese just fighting.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
And like, geese are big animals. Yeah. Which, I was actually curious, how much do you think a goose weighs, just its body?
I'd say 30 pounds.
You know what, I should have looked this up. I didn't, though, because I just thought of this question right now. But there's a lot of heft to these guys. I know they don't have teeth, but one of them was just biting the other one. So I don't know if they were mating. I don't think they were, because there was a third one that was looking on. Like,
that sounds like mating to me.
I mean, yeah. I assume like the other one would have been jumping in if that was the case, but
yeah, I broke up a goose fight like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It breaks my heart to see geese fighting.
Yeah.
But I was driving and there were 2 of them fighting in the middle of a street and like 10 of them watching.
Yeah.
Big goose orgy going on. And I just I was driving towards them. And they were in the street, and I was like, well, I'm going to slowly keep going. And they kind of, like, split ways. So I think I broke up the fight. Like, they went their own way after that.
Okay.
Because when I looked at in the rearview mirror, they weren't going back at it.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. I like geese. When you see someone hit a goose on the street or something like that, it's sad.
Have you ever hit any animals?
Oh, like with fists?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. I must have. I mean, I probably blocked it out because it makes me sad, but yeah, I would think. Oh, I hit a dog once. Kind of. A dog hit me. Also, a deer hit me. And I believe your sister was there. We got a lot of stories.
A deer hit you, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Your sister was there, I think.
Okay. Please explain.
It was like in front of your sister's work.
Okay. She's had many.
In Roselle.
Okay.
I think
I know what you're talking about.
I think she saw it because I think she sent a comment.
She laughed
on YouTube that was like deer murderer or something, and I didn't post anything about it. She just openly, unless she was randomly calling me a deer murderer. But like I was driving down the street and I saw a deer run across the street, and I was like, wow, that looks like it's gonna hit me. And he ran into the side of my car.
Oh shit!
To the point where it knocked the mirror off the side of my car. Which means I didn't hit him with the front of my car. He ran into the side of my door, but he was like coming this way, and I was like, what is happening here? And he hit me, and I don't know if I killed him or not. I saw him like get up and move on.
Yeah.
But like sometimes they run to the side and they die or whatever. And kind of the same thing happened with the dog. I was slowly driving, and I saw this like little kid was walking their dog, and the dog like I had no... It ran under my car, like from the side, ran and like hit close to my wheel and like bounced off. And then like I stopped and I was like, the dog was fine.
Okay.
Like it was like, hey, what's going on? Like it didn't really react. And it didn't look like I hit it very difficult or very hard. But the kid was like, what do I do? I'm a child. I don't know how to respond to this. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I probably have open bottles in my car or something. So let me get out of here. And I was like, is the dog okay? And he's like, yeah, I think it's okay. And I was like, go bring it to your parents and tell them, make sure that it's okay. And I took off. And I'm sure they all died or whatever.
Jesus.
I don't know. I feel like if an animal gets hit by something, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least with the deer at least knows that it's just like, your car's fucked right before you get, right before it gets killed there. But
you?
Yeah, no, I'm the same thing, or the same way, because this was at work. I walked right outside the door, and it was like literally the feathers like flying. And again, I know that this is nature, but it's like, I have to step in. I have to try something. I mean, like, hey, we're talking about bullies, and there was the funny thing is because you never know like which one's the male, if that is the case, because this guy like chased one off, and then the one that was like looking on, it's like he came back and he's like, oh, you want some too, you know, and like came back at that one, and then that one took off, you know.
Okay,
it's awesome.
I kind of remember me and my friends bullying a goose at one point, which is very, unfortunate. But a man wearing a NASA hat kind of stepped in. It's very shady. Yeah. It's very. I'm pretty sure
is the word.
Hattori Hanzo was there.
Oh man.
I was a bad kid, but I didn't do anything.
Okay.
I didn't do anything, but I was in a group. I didn't stop it. I could have stopped it. But I think we were just like calling it bad names. Somebody
anti-Semitic names.
Yeah, somebody threw a quarter at it or something. It was very rude.
All right, speaking of rude.
Yeah, bullies. I don't like bullies. Like, you shouldn't be a bully.
I got another thing something that happened to me yesterday, actually. Okay, and this kind of has to do with what you just said. Yeah. So I was bullying some kids at the school. Mm-hmm. Now, I was bringing groceries in. Joni had just gotten back from the store. And I hear someone kind of like from the street kind of yelling to me like, oh, and I hear, oh, the cavalry's coming. And I look over and it's like two dudes on segways. I'm like, okay, I don't even know if they're talking to me at this point, but then one of them's holding a tablet. And I'm like, motherfucker. Because it's like
Oh, yes.
So I've got groceries in hand. I have like 2 cases of Spindrift, a gallon of milk, like heavy stuff. So this guy just happens to come up. And he wants to start asking about like pest control, what we use to, for our ants and our spiders. The whole time he's doing this, he's bobbing back and forth on his Segway. Uh-huh. I don't know if you, in all honesty, I don't know if you have to do that to keep it going or what, but it's like, so he's on the Segway, so he's got about 6 inches there, and then this kid's about 6'3", so he's towering over me. And it's like, I would love to fill out like a comment card and start with that. It's like, maybe get off the Segway for starters. Also because, like I said, he's talking to me and just going back and forth and just... So I'm just pissed off. I hate telemarketers and I hate people who come to the door, especially since we have like a no soliciting sign. But now I feel that anyone who does that will just tell you, oh, no, I'm not soliciting. And then they'll just go on with soliciting, but they'll tell you that's not what they're doing. Or no, listen to my deal. It's better than the last guy.
When you say solicit these nuts, pal.
No, I mean, I'm going to say I am a very friendly person, but I think when it comes to these people, that's when it's just like, I don't care. Because it's Friday, it's 5 p.m., this guy's driving around with his buddy, like acting like, hey. And the other thing that Joni and I love is when door-to-door salesmen try to make it sound more appealing because our neighbor down the street. Yeah, I was talking to Jim down the street, and it's like, hey, buddy, I don't know who the fuck Jim is down the street. You know,
it's like all of us can Google what you guys say.
That's my thing. Because I asked the guy, I'm like, do you have a business card? Because I was trying to be nice at that point, where it's just like, nice. Dude, I don't have time for this. Like, I actually said to him, I'm like, this is a bad time, and like looked down at the groceries I'm literally holding still. And he's just like, yeah, and just kept going. And it pissed me off so much, so I'm finally just like, you know what, dude, I'm not interested. Should I come back at a different... Nope, I'm like, don't come back. Thank you.
The thing I don't like about it is that, like, they know where you live, because you're like...
That's the only thing I'm thinking is because after it's like, was I too rude to this guy? Is everyone like that? Is no one like that? Is he actually putting something in his phone now?
I think you're, like...
flagging this house, you know?
Because you're, like, not really rude. You're just, like, trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas I'll be like, hey, no. And my dog's barking, and I'm like, look, my dog doesn't like you. You can't say too much, because then it's like a disgruntled person can come out of it. So you just have to be like, no, I'm good. No, we love actually pests. We bring the pests into the house. I like the people when you go to like a Costco or whatever, and they're like, how much is your phone bill? And I'm always like, my phone bill's free. My work pays for it. Well, I work for myself, but they don't know that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then they're like, "Oh, I can't help you."
Yeah, that's
like, try to come up with
actually.
something that like they can't respond to. Like, dude, I got COVID, right?
Or like I work for the CIA. That could be a good one.
I don't think that's a good
It
one.
won't work. It won't be believable. But,
Poorly played.
yeah.
That's what I would call that one.
Yours was good though.
Thank you.
Yours was good.
No.
Yeah. No, I do you so like as far as like even telemarketers, like I've gotten to the point where when I see
people call you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't answer.
Yeah, because most of the time you just get like it'll show up scam likely. But what I like to do now is like if I'm driving home and I see that, I'll just answer the phone but not say anything and wait how long it takes. That, but a lot of times now it's automated and they're waiting for you to reply before it's hello.
You know what you should do is you should go, not to the automated ones obviously, but to like real people. You should be like, no, financially I can't do this. Are you guys hiring? Flip the script.
There you go.
And then they have to answer the questions. Then they're trying to leave, and you're like, no. What do you pay?
I saw an old comedian. This was years back. I don't even remember who it was, but he talked about that when telemarketers call. He would be like, you know what? I'm actually thinking about killing myself right now, but if you can convince me otherwise, you know,
That's solid.
He's like that stopped working though when the police and paramedics started showing up at my house.
Well, that's okay.
Hey, you just tell them no, wrong number.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me.
Yeah. So how's your week been?
Yeah, boring. Family's in town, so that was fun. We get to hang out and do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And Mother's Day is coming up this week if I have my calendar in my head correctly based on when we were recording this. But yeah, nothing crazy is going on. I actually been working on merch for me and you.
Nice.
To get some stuff here, and I came up with a great design that is just letters for our podcast.
Okay.
And
letters are okay.
It looks goofy, right? Because of the name of our podcast. So it's just S and for sand. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
I know you're.
I don't know what aughts means, but
Yeah.
yes, I know what an
S
ampersand
and
is.
for sand, G, L for live, exclamation point, and then parentheses with a small R.
Recorded.
Just those letters as like a hat. I love that idea, or a shirt. The font I'm using is called Reggae, so you know I'm really into it.
Yeah.
But it made me realize that we named this the worst possible podcast of all time because you can't really like make.
Should we actually say you named it the worst podcast of all time?
Well, you comply.
I agree.
You
I think it's a
consented.
good name. So
I think it's a good name, but I did some research and I found out that there is no podcast called Two Middle-Aged White Guys. How great of a podcast would that be? Or just middle-aged white guys,
Yeah.
and then you sell shirts that say middle-aged white guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
that is pretty solid, yeah, because people who don't even listen to the podcast can still wear the shirt.
Middle-aged white guys with Sasha and Goff. If you want to keep our names in there, but I think middle-aged white guys was. And then people are like, "Wait, middle-aged white guy? Like we messed up big time. Damn, we messed up." So maybe we just start selling those shirts anyway. Like I'd probably wear one of those.
We
Change
could
the
be
name.
middle-aged black guys.
I mean,
I don't know how long it'll work.
Never mind.
The jig is up.
Yeah, that is pretty good. But anyway, so I've been trying to do that, and I also did something. A band favorite of the show, we'll call them Bad Planning from Barrington, Illinois. Yeah. I think, or Round Lake, or somewhere in the northern
Friends of the
suburbs.
pod. Yeah.
Not friends of the pod, but we like them.
Yeah.
I've seen them a couple times, and they're actually playing again later this month with Murphy's Law in where we saw them in West Dundee over there.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I might go see them. It's on a Thursday. But anyway, they did a little flash sale on their Instagram. They found some old merch of theirs, and they were like, hey, we're selling these cheap just to like get rid of them and whatever. So I was like, oh, let me see what cheap means in this day and age. And I go and I click on the link, and I see that they're selling their shirts that they have left, and they have a large white shirt for $8. And I'm like, I love these guys.
Yeah.
$8, you're selling a shirt? That's my kind of band right there, right? Love these local guys. I like their sound. I like what they're all about. $8 for this shirt plus shipping. It's probably going to be around $15 or whatever. I'm like, okay, here we go. Love it. So I go and I click to order the shirt, and it says like enter your address for shipping so that it knows whatever. And I enter it in, and it says your total $8.
Ooh.
And I go, are they offering me free shipping? is this band, my new favorite band, Bad Planning,
man.
Are they, because they're not just, look, this is not because I like cheap things. This is because I like the way that a band handles themselves. Yeah. $8 for a shirt. Hey, we found these. They're extra. If anybody wants them, $8. Free shipping. Now, I don't know if they did the free shipping on purpose. Maybe it was an accident.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Are they going to reach out and be like, hey, we forgot the shipping? And then I'm going to be like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, because at that point, they're literally just clearing space. They're making $1 or $2.
Yeah, and if they did that, maybe I wouldn't have looked at them the same. You know what I mean? Maybe I would have been like, oh, well, come on, guys. You made the mistake. If I make the mistake, I'm going to go, I made the mistake. Here it is. Here's your $8 shirt. So they either did it on purpose or they didn't do it on purpose, but they didn't reach out to me, which is great. Yeah. And then I got like tracking number. I got all this stuff. So that I thought I was going to get a cancellation of an order or something. Nothing. So it was $8. And then it came and it said the shipping was like $4.60. So they did not make any money on this transaction. Yeah. But you know what they made? They made a fan.
A new fan.
A guy who was already on the fan train. Now I'm holding on to the train.
Damn right.
We're putting the seatbelt on because I'm staying in the train because that's the type of service. Now what else? What else could they have possibly done?
Stickers.
What?
Stickers.
2 free stickers.
Hell yeah.
Bad Planning. You guys get it. You guys get it. And you have a fan. I don't want to say for life because who knows what you guys are going to do. It could be you could do something shady in the future. Bill Cosby situation. I don't know what
I love Bill Cosby.
I do love Bill Cosby. Yeah. But anyway, that's how you do it. You throw in a shirt. You say, "Oh, free shipping." Oh, what? They didn't make any money on the transaction, but guess what? I'm going to go see him with Murphy's Law. I'm going to buy a hoodie. Maybe not a hoodie. I don't know if they're going to sell them in the summer, but whatever. I'm going to buy your stuff now, and I'm cheering you on, and I'm listening to you, and I'm going to put you on our podcast and whatever. I love that. I love the fact that they did that because I've gotten so many things where bands just nothing.
Yeah.
Not a sticker. You're not going to send me a sticker with a shirt. That's step 1. You start a band, you create a song. That's step 2. Step 1 is you send free stickers.
I was going to say stickers has got to be one, right?
Yeah, yes. So
I remember kind of a similar story, a little bit. Years back, I ordered a Slick Shoes t-shirt from, I don't know if it was through Tooth and Nail or one of the punk, either way. I got 2 of them, which never happens. It was fantastic. And it was kind of a situation like that where I was...
2 of the same shirt?
Yeah, they came like a day after, but it was the same Slick Shoes t-shirt.
Okay.
It was, so it was awesome. I just had 2 of them. That's when like AOL was a big thing. And I think I was like in some punk chat or whatever, something like that, and I might have mentioned, it's like, oh, I got 2 shirts sent, and like, for some reason, like someone reached out about me sending them the other shirt, like they were gonna pay for it or something, and it was like, it became too much of a hassle, and I just told them, I'm like, yeah, they asked for the shirt back, like, so, yeah, it's just like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even it's like, no, I'll pay everything, for the shirt.
Wait, so was it the person who had ordered it? They were like, hey man, that's my shirt.
No. This was just someone. I was just like, oh hell yeah, I got 2 Slick Shoes. Someone's like, I like Slick Shoes. If you got an extra one, I'll take it.
That's funny.
It's just like, yeah, because that never happens.
No, I love that. Asian Man Records used to do it all the time, and they have made a lifelong fan with me, where they would just throw in so much extra stuff. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like the stuff that, especially like the little things, the stickers. They'll throw in a poster that they have sticking around, these tour posters and stuff like that, where they have a bunch of them and they use a bunch of them, and then there's a bunch left. Like that. Throw that stuff in there.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. Like I'm happier because I got this extra stuff, and so I appreciated that. I don't know. That's all I got this week. It was not a big week.
That's okay, man. All right, well, let's, I guess we can just move in then to thumbs up, thumbs down.
Let's do it.
What are we putting inside ourselves this week? I'll start off. I got 2 things. The first one is one of my top 5 movies, another movie we watched at work. It's Point Break. Have you ever seen this, the original?
Is that with the monkey?
No. I have no idea what you're talking about, actually. Point Break is the one with the bank robbers who are surfers. Patrick Swayze,
What's
Keanu
the one
Reeves.
with the monkey that wears a hat backwards? He's like a cool monkey. Dunstan
checks in. Yes.
Is that? That's what
it's
you
It's
watched?
not Point Break.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
What do you? What even made you Point Break? Dunstan checks in.
Outbreak.
Outbreak. There you go. That's a good movie. That's not the one I watched. So,
Are there monkeys in Outbreak?
Yes, there are. The monkey.
Okay.
Yeah, starts the vibe. Okay.
All right.
Dunstan checks in. Outbreak. Point Break. Yes. But anyway, have you seen Point Break?
No, absolutely not. I've never even heard of it.
Okay, so yeah, awesome, like bank robbing surfer movie. Pretty much is the
bank robbing surfer movie.
Yeah, because like so they're surfers.
You can't say that and expect me to know what you're talking about.
They're surfers who rob banks to like fund them
Surfing.
going on trips to like Australia and stuff like that. So
okay, I'm in.
It's actually a really awesome like late '90s movie. Catherine Bigelow directed it. That's James Cameron's wife. There was a remake made for this movie, so make sure you don't watch it if it says 2000, like 20 or 15 or whatever. Make sure it's the 1990 whatever. But yeah, this is a lot of people say the kind of the precursor for the Fast and the Furious movies too. Actually, the first Fast and the Furious movie is almost a direct ripoff of Point Break.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you come across that, yeah, Keanu Reeves, not Kiefer Sutherland, who did I say? Patrick Swayze, Tom Sizemore, Gary Busey before he was fucking nuts. So I guess you could take it or leave it if you.
I saw yesterday a picture of Fred Ward, who you brought up last week.
Did you know who it was when you saw the picture?
Like, I've seen the guy.
Okay.
But
you're talking about our Rednecks episode.
Yeah. I don't know anything about him being a redneck or whatever.
He played a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was he in?
He was in Joe Dirt. He was Joe Dirt's dad.
Okay, keep going.
And then I mentioned Road Trip. He's DJ Qualls' dad. Like, you know, remember DJ Qualls is like the skinny nerd that they take with and they use his credit card and everything. His dad shows up at the end and he's got like the gun.
Okay, I think that might be what I saw.
Okay.
Like, we were looking at possibly watching that movie.
Yeah. And then he was also in Sweet Home Alabama. He was in Tremors.
Okay. Yeah, sorry to take it off.
That's
topic,
all right.
But I did know who he was eventually. Yeah.
Well, that's why when I brought him up on that episode, it was like, come on, you know Fred Ward. Yeah. All right, and then the other one, I'm not going to talk a lot about this. I'm just going to bring it up because I don't want to spoil anything. It's The Last of Us. Are you familiar with this show? It's on HBO Max.
That's with the fat lady and her black brother.
Oh, jeez. All right, hold on. Let me think. The Facts of Life? I don't know. What are you thinking of?
No, it's NBC. She's fat and she's got a black brother, and they're like sad. They were kids and then they grew up. This Is Us.
Oh, gotcha.
Is that it?
Okay. No. It's The Last of Us, as I said.
Oh, no, but This Is Us the name of something?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a show on... I don't know if that's still a show or not, or if it's
it ended.
Over. Okay.
It ended. They all don't like each other.
So The Last of Us is it's a show on HBO Max. The second season just started, and it's based on the video game The Last of Us, which was the first one came out on PS3, and then the second one I think was for PS4.
Okay.
Awesome games, like really good story-wise. I never played the second game, but the second season of this show started, and it's essentially they're doing it by season. So without spoiling anything, something huge that happens in the second game happened in this episode that a lot of people were like, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
Oh,
boy. So... yeah.
Oh,
so
boy.
This second episode, man, it was like really.
Wait, what is this? Zombies or something?
It's infected, but it's like a fungus.
Okay.
Virus, so it's like it's essentially the same thing.
Surfer zombies.
Yeah, surfer zombies.
It.
Dude. But yeah, no, just a really good show. It's scary. I don't know if you guys would love it. I know you're not a big zombie guy.
It's not for me.
But yeah, Pedro Pascal, who's taken over the world. He's in like everything. He's the main character.
Yeah, he just went after J.K. Rowling.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because J.K. Rowling is against trans rights, and so he came out and he was like, "You're a Gryffindor," or like, I don't understand those worlds, and I don't know if that word is something.
It's I don't.
Or if it makes sense. What's the bad guy?
Slytherin. Yeah.
I feel like it was neither of those. But anyway, I know who that guy is. He's hosted SNL and
he did the 50th one, right?
He did that too.
Yeah. So he's in the new Fantastic Four movies in this. But
okay.
Yeah, so The Last of Us season 2, episode 2 specifically. Be warned, anyone who watches the show. So that's all I got.
And did you say this was on Max?
So, yeah.
Okay. I also started watching something on Max, Hacks.
You've been watching that though.
I have, but season 4 just started.
Okay.
So they put, I think, 3 episodes up, so I watched all of those. And, it's like, I could see people not liking this show because it can be
got women.
It can be a little hacky a little bit. hacks, hacky. But it does have some good jokes and good stories and stuff like that.
I remember you brought that up many, many episodes ago, and I knew the name of it, but now I feel like since you've talked about it, I keep seeing trailers, so now I know who the people are you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Jean
that
Smart.
lady.
Yeah, she used to play Fred Ward in a surfing movie.
Nice.
No, so I started watching that. Whatever, it's still a good show. I watched 2 Tia Carrere movies this week.
Ooh, all right. So one of them...
Both
was in the Army now.
With my wife, unfortunately.
Oh, all right.
But
so hands visible.
Yeah, I had to watch this.
That's how or duct tape like Edward 40 hands. But
it wasn't as fun. But no, incorrect.
Was one of them where she was a teacher and it had Jeremy or Jason London? One of them, I think maybe it's called like nope, that's definitely not it. Never mind.
She was a teacher.
There was a pretty good sex scene, kind of, but like a PG-13 one.
I wish. No. There was a funny sex scene. It wasn't I guess there were like multiple insinuating... I don't know. The first one was Jury Duty, so you had the right actor, wrong movie.
What did I say? In the Army now? I meant Jury Duty, yeah.
Jury Duty, Tia Carrere, Stanley Tucci, who is apparently big now.
Yeah. He's always been big. He's a very good actor.
I believe this was his first movie, and
No.
I think so.
Really?
I think so. And what I read about this was that he hated it so much, like filming this movie and being a part of it, that he wrote his first script, which was some movie. I don't know if you know the names of his movies, but he wrote some script while he was on the set of Jury Duty, and that became like it's a pretty well-known movie.
It wasn't It Could Happen to You, is it? So
no.
Okay.
At least I don't think so. I think it's food related. There's like Italian chefs involved or something like that. I could be wrong. I'm not a big Stanley Tucci enthusiast.
Stanley Tucci reminds me, or I guess I should say it the other way around because I think he's been around longer, but Artie from The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's who Stanley,
he played a very good, like, neurotic whatever in Jury Duty.
He's like the bad guy, right?
He is.
Okay,
yeah. If you would have asked me before watching that movie what happened in that movie, I totally would have forgot. But the second that I saw the guy who plays the prisoner, or the guy who's, like, on trial, everything started, like, clicking to me story-wise what happened.
Gonna happen.
Yeah. And then, like, watching the movie, I was like, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest Pauly Shore movie, but I enjoyed watching it, and can't go wrong with Tia Carrere.
Wait,
huh?
Is the other one True Lies?
No. Is she a teacher in True Lies?
No,
she's a teacher in this other one.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. It features John Lovitz. Okay, High School High.
Oh, yeah.
And very, very solid movie.
This
was a solid movie.
Yeah, it's a good spoof movie.
Very good movie. A lot of good stuff in there. John Lovitz. Like I said, spoof of
Dangerous Minds.
Yeah. And it also has the same guy, Mekhi Phifer.
Yeah.
I didn't call him Gorbachev. That's almost where I went. So, but yeah,
Mekhi Gorbachev.
I love this movie. It was very funny. I haven't seen it in a while. It was one of Megan's like things that she liked, and it was always like, let's watch it. And I'm always like, nah, some other time.
That is a deep pull, man.
Yeah, it was very good.
High. Damn.
You know, there's like some movies can be too dumb, and they're tough to watch or whatever, but there's a level of dumb that's just right. And
I think they had it back then. For me, it was when the scary movies kept going. Scary Movie 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And then it turned into Fast Movie, Epic Movie, Date Movie. They had these for everything, and it's like they were terrible movies.
I think you hit the nail on the head, because we were trying to figure out, because Megan was like, we should watch Fatal Instinct. I know
that's a great movie.
She goes, I know you haven't seen the other movies that it's spoofing, so you don't know what's happening. And then she was like, what about Scary Movie 9 or whatever they're called? Yeah. And I was like, none of those intrigue me. Like, I feel like they're too dumb that I don't want to watch them. But I know a lot of them are in the same vein of like Naked Gun.
Yeah.
And I love Naked Gun.
I can't believe you just said Fatal Instinct. Like that's such a like another one as far as like deep pulls. Like my brother and I fucking love that movie.
Dude, Megan would be great for this podcast.
Well, it's just like,
we gotta get her.
Great thing like with that movie is that the main guy, he's a lawyer and a cop. So it's like, like, you know, Sean, I forgot the main actress's name, but she's like, so I hear you go both ways. You know, it starts and he's like, only in college once, and she's like, no, I mean, you're a cop and a lawyer. He's like, there's a lot of scum out there, and they all deserve to be equally represented. So it's like he arrests these guys and then represents them in court.
I feel like Fatal Instinct is one that I would have maybe like understood some of the stuff that was going on. And
like, I've never seen Fatal Attraction, but I know what it's about. So it's like, that's good enough. And then Basic Instinct I have seen. So it's like, it's based on like the erotic thrillers, like the old Michael Douglas movies. And
there's just something about that one. Like, I might give that one a try, but the rest of them I have no interest in watching. It's just, I feel like they're dumb, like too dumb for me.
But you are going to watch Naked Gun, though, right? The new one?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think and I hope they do it well.
I think they will.
Yeah, I think so, too. It looks like the trailer got me. And they made an OJ joke.
Yep.
If they stayed away from an OJ joke, I'd be like, come on, you have to make a reference to the guy who was in the movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah?
But, yeah, that's all. I've only watched Tia Carrere videos this week, so.
All right, cool. Well, then I guess we can... let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this episode, and let's start with our top 3 phone apps.
Oh, yeah.
So we could either say brought to you by Elf, or we could tell everyone else to blame Elf for this next 5 minutes of content you're going to get.
I will say this.
Just kidding, Elf.
When I heard phone apps, I was kind of like, where are we going to go with this one? But then looking at my phone, I was like, it's kind of hard to pick 3 phone apps.
Yeah.
Because I use a lot of different phone apps for different things, and I mean, Chase is not going to be my favorite, but it's pretty important to like look at your stuff or whatever. So I thought it was okay. You want me to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
At number 3, I'm going with Instagram. Where do I look at black women and breasts? I go to Instagram.
That's where most people go.
And you know, it's important for that reason, and only that reason, pretty much, and maybe to see where bands are coming to town or whatever. But it's my social media of choice. I like Instagram. Yeah. I don't like anything that comes with any of the other ones. So Instagram's good, and I don't want further. I don't need any further. I don't need more stuff.
Yeah, that's as far. I mean, like YouTube, I guess, would be the other one, because I'm off of Facebook now again. Like, I got back on it for the St. Baldrick's thing, and then realized I didn't really.
You consider YouTube I don't consider it a social media.
I do. I mean, just the fact that people can comment. So yeah, that like, yeah, all right. But either way,
but you know what though? Like, I don't even use YouTube on a regular basis. Like, I should. There's a lot of great stuff, and I've been using it more, but like, for some reason, it's just I never think to use YouTube, so I don't even think of it as a streaming thing, let alone the social media aspect.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, so my number 3, I put Whatnot, actually. One that you introduced to me, and I think it's just because it's one when I'm laying in bed. And this is all live sales for anyone who's not familiar.
Yeah,
it's
explain
essentially,
what it is. Yeah.
So Whatnot is almost like eBay in the sense that it's auctions, but it could also just be literally someone with a phone walking around this room being like, everything's for sale.
Yeah, and it's I literally did a Whatnot.
You did one,
in this very
That's how
room.
I got, I guess, hooked on it, not because of your video, but that got me introduced to the site. But it's just interesting too, and then I mean, like, when you see people having meltdowns because they're selling stuff, they think the stuff is going to sell. Because when you do an auction, it's kind of like on eBay. Like, unless you're a dick and you just cancel the sale, you have to honor it. You know, it doesn't matter because someone,
whatever it is, and if you don't have enough people in your room to like bid against each other, you're kind of in a crappy position.
Yeah, there's been a lot that I've been in where if we're just going for cheap like action figures, and it's like, You don't even have to talk to another person, that it could just be like, all right, you get every other one and I'll take every other one. We're both paying $2 and we're not outbidding. And you know,
or you have the thing where like someone just overprices everything and then they're just wasting everybody's time because nobody's going to pay $300 for your NASCAR shirt.
Well, that's the thing though. It's interesting because we've talked about that being huge eBay, you know, like users, I guess. But when you see on Whatnot, these things are going for $250 on eBay, and it's like I can literally just check eBay and see that it's going for $150 or whatever. But it's interesting to me to see like how some of these people clearly maybe they're only on Whatnot, because it's just like, why are you
also like the delusion.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, you're talking about the delusion part of it, which is like people just being like, yeah, I know what this is worth.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
You're not, because people are not paying that. So like, whatever. But the other part of it that's kind of cool is just like when you do go to a good room and you see the stuff, like you can like learn for like what is actually valuable, because people are paying like $200 for a Nike sweatshirt that has like cigarette stains in it. And you're like, what is? I don't understand this thing.
Well, there was actually one I was watching the other day, because I some action figures I collect, like one of specifically, like when I got it brand new, like the arm kept falling off, and it was like, what the hell? And then I saw like on a WhatsApp thing, someone was like selling that one. It's like, oh, and just a reminder, it's like the arm's a little loose here. So then I actually Googled it, and it turns out that character was just kind of made with a flaw.
Okay.
So it's like, but because of that, it's like, I know.
It is a dangerous app too, because it's so easy
it's
to
so
just
easy
hit
to
the button to
I hit that button.
Yeah. Spike up the price a little bit or whatever. But it is kind of cool that they, like, if you buy multiple things, they cut out
the shipping.
and so.
Yeah, so I've actually found a lot of really good deals on Whatnot for something like I literally just signed onto the app to watch your show that one time, and it was like, I'll check this out, and it's like, shit, I can actually, like, I've made some good money off of Whatnot purchases on eBay. So
cool. My number 2 is Podcast Addict. This is just where I listen to podcasts. Okay. So it's got my collection of podcasts, which is what, like, my main use of my phone pretty much anyway. And nothing in particular. I think my dear friend Ivica told me about it years ago, and I don't know if there's better ones or not, but that's just the one that, like, I started with, and so that's just
like, as opposed to Spotify or whatever, you just use
I just use Podcast Addict, and it's like all of it in one.
Okay.
And when they do something like
are we on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, when I was usually when you're, at least what I've had to do with the other podcasts, you have to, like, literally go to that site and, like, put in your URL or whatever. And
like,
I remember doing that, but
even Joe Rogan stuff where it was like Spotify paid him all this money, so he's going to be Spotify exclusive. Somebody puts it on Podcast Addict, and I don't know, maybe he does. Yeah. I have no clue, but it's available. You can always find it or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know, just the easiest one that I found, and I'm like, well, I don't need to search harder. Like, this works.
Yeah.
So
nice.
It's number 2.
All right, my number 2, very similar to Whatnot I just talked about, eBay. Another one that I'm just, even if I'm not active, I'm just on there looking for, you spend a lot of time on there. Obviously, we're trying to make money on sales, so it's like the amount of time I spend sending offers to people, and then even just looking at old shit that it's like I'm trying to get rid of, like, bad planning. It's like, I will never offer free shipping, though. Never.
Yeah.
I think I'm almost to 1,000 sales. I've given free shipping maybe 5 times.
I used to do it, and then, like, it eventually comes back to haunt you if it's not something that sells quickly, because you put the whatever. That's not this podcast.
Okay, but anyway, eBay is my number 2.
Yeah, eBay was a potent notable for me because, like, I sell stuff on there. I look to buy stuff on there, but I try not to be on eBay too much, because I could spend way too much
it's a great thing for, like, our side hustle, and especially having, like, the scanning capabilities and stuff.
My number 1 is just it's Spotify. It has to be, like, I listen to music most of the time. It's podcasts or music or silence, and music is more important than podcasts. So Spotify is my number 1.
See, I'm surprised you don't just use Spotify for, like, your podcast app too.
I mean, maybe
just,
I
like,
should.
Habit. I'm not saying it's any better or worse. It's just since because, like, we subscribe to Amazon Music, but I use Spotify for my podcasts. So it's kind of like what you're doing. I'm, like, unnecessarily using too.
It's just I was used to it this way, so, like, I'm not gonna waste the time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not a waste. Like, I probably is better for me to do it, but because I know the other way so well, and because I'm not really adding new podcasts often, it's what I have. I like how it works, and so I keep them split up.
No, that's interesting you say that, because whenever I'm looking for a new podcast, it's actually just, what haven't I listened to in a long-ass time? Because it's like, I'm not interested in finding new podcasts.
Also, I would be terrified to see what my time on Spotify would be if I include music and podcasting. At least now they split them in half, and I'm like, okay, I won't do the math on this one, but it would be like
I'm the same way
16
though, as far
hours
as,
a day on that thing.
But I mean, like with me, you know, like where I have a job where I can just have a headphone in, it's like I'm still operating. Half the music I'm not really even listening to, it's just on.
Yeah.
But I love having music on. So, my number one, Angry Birds 2. Specifically, I still play this game. I am in a clan with my brother. I know it's weird that they use the word clan, but anyway, everyone knows Angry Birds, and
you and your brother both have shaved heads, and you're in a clan.
Well played. I can't explain. I
gotta make a well played shirt or Live Strong bracelet or something.
But it'll say well played.
Yeah,
it's good. That's all.
Angry Birds 2. Angry Birds 2. Join his clan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was our top 3 phone apps. My potent notables for you. Garage Sale Finder.
Yeah,
I know. One. Yeah, those are just fantastic apps.
It's hopping this weekend.
YouTube, which, getting to use it more often as things go by, but I still don't use it enough. And then the Peloton app, which is important for me because it's the only thing that's made me keep working out. And even though I got a couple pounds across the weight.
Well, and you got a couple pounds on your nose too from last week.
Yeah, still hasn't gotten any better. It's been 11 days, so
like it's hard for me to make eye contact with you right now, you mutant.
I'm probably gonna jump off a bridge after this episode.
All right. Well, yeah, we got like 15 more minutes to go. If you could just, maybe not even 15.
Yeah, hurry it up. Let's get this over.
I'm joking. Please stop crying.
Oh yeah.
He's crying.
By the way,
he's literally crying right
now. And don't hurt yourself if you listen to this. You can't call the suicide hotline anymore. I think the Trump administration is canceling that.
Why not?
But call a friend, save your life, or
What the hell is happening right now?
I made a jump off a bridge reference.
Okay, all right, yeah, there you go.
And so I want people to not jump off
I was going to
bridges.
say, I don't think you've killed Swick yet in this episode.
You got as red as my nose on that, so that was crazy.
Yeah, but I'm also, like, burnt. Like, I'm not trying to be.
But
like,
you
I work
outside
now, so, like...
You ever see, like, the bottom of a laundry machine, the thing that gets really hot, and then turns out you were just very hot for the first time in your life.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, very attractive.
All right, I don't have any potent notables because I just wanted to get that over with.
All right, let's do top 3 bullies.
Top 3 bullies. All right, brought to us, as I said before, Megan. So I have to be facetious and put her and Callie as my number 3.
Okay.
Because, every time I come up here, I have to wait in my car for you to come out and let me in as they just shout obscenities at me. Callie bites me all the time. Megan's bit me a couple times too, but no, had to do that. My number 3 is Scott Farkas from A Christmas Story.
So Megan would probably be 2 or 1.
Yeah.
I mean, she's kicked you out of this house so many times.
Many times, yes, but you keep letting me back in through this window here. Yeah. But anyway, Scott Farkas from A Christmas Story.
Okay, I know this one. I watched A Christmas Story for the first time ever, like a year ago or 2 years ago.
That's crazy. What do you think, quickly?
Of the movie?
Good? Like, is it?
It's fine. Is it Christmas? Whatever. I don't ever want to watch it again.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Got to you late in life. Anyway, that guy and then his little buddy Grover or something, I think is
Grover.
The way that he describes him, it's like his lips curled over his green teeth, And sure enough, these bullies, obviously, and then when Ralphie beats the shit out of him at the end is just fantastic. Anytime a bully gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, comeuppance is solid.
Comeuppance is a good word, too.
Yeah. Cool. My number 3 is a TV show bully. It is Wayner. The Wayner from... Wonder Years.
Yeah, Wonder Years.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He is a dick.
He is top-notch bully. In one of the earlier TV shows that I even remember watching, just always beating up Fred Savage. Even in the credits, they have him. He's got him in
noogies,
the headlock. Yeah.
What is their last name? Arnold, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, my number 3 is the Wayner.
All right, good stuff. All right, my number 2, Henry Bowers. This is the villain from It that is not Pennywise the Clown. So Stephen King I don't know if he was a bully or if he was bullied, but most of his books have bullies, and they're all very similar characters. Kind of one note. This character, Henry Bowers, though, like I said, it's from It. Just a truly terrifying character. I mean, like, basically the junior high kid that's literally trying to kill other kids his age, not just, like,
wow.
you know. And that
was
book,
allowed back then. It was a thing.
Jeez, but the amount of times that this guy says the N-word in the book, there's that. Solid. And other just, like, like gay slurs, you know, like homophobic, sexist, things like that. And then, like I said, the fact that he's literally trying to kill other people, and it's just a great villain, terrifying.
Man, I just started. I know I said I was starting it recently, Huck Finn, or maybe I talked about Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
And now I'm on Huck Finn. So I read Tom Sawyer, and I'm on to Huck Finn. And the N-words in that, it's like tough to read. And then I also watched like this Hulk Hogan video. It's been a rough week. So, okay.
Henry Bowers is my number 2.
Henry Bowers. Number 2 for me is, I hope it's not your number 1, but if it is, it'll line up well. Nelson Muntz.
No, I got him in Notables.
Okay, Nelson Muntz, Simpsons. Just a fantastic bully. I preferred Nelson when he became sensitive.
Okay.
I love the bully that turns sensitive.
Was that like a character turn, or are you talking about that episode, the one where his mom was in jail, and I think like Nelson's mom was in, or not Nelson, Milhouse, when it was just like,
I'm thinking when like, I think he was like dating Lisa or something.
Oh, okay.
Like
or when he had feelings for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had to kind of become a non-bully or whatever. Also, the bully of Lisa, the girl who was a bully, and
I don't know if I remember her.
It was like a scent that they created.
Okay.
So that like she could smell a bully or whatever. Whatever, that doesn't matter. But Nelson Muntz, classic TV.
His crew
character,
too, like Jimbo Jones, all those guys.
Fantastic.
One of my favorite things is when they're chasing Bart like down the hallway because he got like this cool new utility belt. And it's like he's running and they're chasing him, and then all of a sudden he turns on like the blinker to go right, and they're all like, "He's going right!" and he cuts left instead, but they all go right. Like, so good. All right, my number 1 is William Zabka, the actor. This is the guy who plays Johnny Lawrence in the Cobra Kai series and also the Karate Kid, the blonde guy.
Okay,
I just put William Zabka because in the 80s he was an iconic bully. He was also the bad guy in Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield, and then he was also the bully in Just One of the Guys.
He's the main Karate Kid.
He's like
teacher.
Well, no, there's Ralph Macchio, obviously,
no,
but like the
bad
blonde,
guys.
the Cobra Kai. There are senseis like above him that you like meet in the later ones to find out why he's such a prick. But
I'm thinking the guy who's the teacher.
No, there's like
the
John
kids.
Kreese. Yeah, that's Kreese
from
like the first movie.
Yeah.
But no, Johnny is the blonde kid who's
Okay.
essentially like he stole his girlfriend.
Yes.
He beats him at the end.
Okay.
But yeah, these 3 characters he played in the 80s, all movies I love. Have you seen Back to School or Just One of the Guys?
But I can't picture him in that movie.
Yeah, he's not so much the bully, I guess, in this one, but just I give him that era because he was just a prick in all these movies. Definitely a bully though. In Just One of the Guys, he would always do the thing during lunch periods where he would just like lift up the table in the middle of people eating and everything, just slide off, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, William Zabka.
All right, my number 1 is Frankie from Boy Meets World.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is Ethan Suplee. Is
Yep.
that his name? Once again, the bully that is sensitive. Like, I love it. You know, his diction is fantastic.
Yep.
It's just a great character. He's the son of Big Van Vader, the pro wrestler in that show.
So good.
I just think he's excellent in that show.
Have you seen what he looks like now?
Yeah, he's like jacked and lost a lot of weight.
deal.
And his little brother in Boy Meets World, who's like a miniature version of him, is also fantastic.
Who's the other guy? The guy that kind of has like the
rat,
New York, with the haircut.
I don't know his name, but yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about though. When you're talking about the sensitive,
is his name? Is the big guy Frankie? Yeah, because the rat guy's always like, "Hey, Frankie."
I did put Frankie from Boy Meets World, so that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, Megan is a big fan of Harley Kiner. He was the bully who was in charge of Frankie and the rat before it was Adam Scott. because there was a bully. He was a very...
Wait, Adam Scott was on?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was, unless his name was Harley Kiner when he came in. But either way, there was one main guy who was like, I mean, I can't leave Megan alone to watch that movie, that TV show when he's on.
Uh-oh.
But then Adam Scott took his place.
Okay.
And, yeah. But all of them are great on that show.
Oh, yeah.
Potent notables for me, I only have one. That's a lie. Debo from Friday.
Oh, that's a great one.
Which I brought it up last week that I haven't watched it, but as I was doing research for this and I saw this, I was like, that's pretty good.
That's a really good one.
And then the only other one that I had that came to my mind was the bully in Encino Man, who is also in Wayne's World.
Shush.
Yeah, he is a great bully, and he's got the face of like a jerk.
He's got a punchable face.
Yeah,
totally.
He is great in that movie, so that's a potent notable for me.
Oh, yeah. All right, so my potent notables, you said Nelson and you said Frankie. So I got Biff from Back to the Future, Biff Tannen.
ChatGPT's #1 answer.
Is it?
Yes.
Nice. And then Bullies. Lucy. My pit bull.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I forgot to do the top 3 phone apps from our dear friend ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
Number 3, Reddit. Number 2, Notion, which I've never even heard of, but it's just some sort of organization app. And number 1, Spotify, because ChatGPT loves listening to Bad Religion and does so all day. So.
I get so much Bad Religion in my after the album I'm listening to finishes.
Yeah.
Lately, it's been that song 10 in 2010 that was in Crazy Taxi.
Oh wow.
10 in 2010. Not a great song.
Yeah.
But, it keeps playing.
Deep cut on that.
Yeah.
one,
No. Yeah. Like I said, we talked about Crazy Taxi a couple weeks ago for favorite video games. I remember that's in it.
So let me ask you.
All right.
How do you feel now knowing what my favorite phone apps are?
You know what? I feel like I know a lot more about you, man.
All right, so let's pick next week's top 3 from the bucket here. If you want to send us your top 3s, send them to sashaandgoff@gmail.com. No H in Sasha, no H in Goff, no H in Dot, no H in Com.
All right, next week we're going to be doing our top 3 childhood memories.
Okay, so that's one we brought up last week that we vetoed this week. Let's get
we have
after
a little
it.
Yeah, you know what? I feel bad for doing it last week. I don't recall who sent that one in, but
so top 3 childhood memories. Do we dare do bottom 3 childhood memories?
I mean,
we're gonna get into like a psychology episode.
Yeah, shit.
My dad hit me with a golf club in Glenside
how
Library
about,
once.
We could maybe times we were let down or I don't know.
You know, if there's any that you want to share, bring them. But we're just gonna do our top 3. What's the actual wording?
Childhood memories.
Top 3 childhood memories. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.